Ask Great Questions is a must-read for every woman in leadership. John Maxwell delivers great content by focusing on the questions that he asks himself and his team, and the questions other leaders ask him. Applying this strategy in the various areas in my life like my family, my ministry, my inner circle, my peers, my mentors and myself has resulted in significant growth in my life. I believe this book is chock full of value, and I am looking forward to masterminding this book further with my clients. In Good Leaders Ask Great Questions, John Maxwell addresses the importance for leaders to be intentional about asking questions on a daily basis, which will, in turn, increase their personal and professional success. John Maxwell is a highly successful person who has accomplished a lot in life. He had to train himself to stop doing and start asking questions. John shares questions he asks members of his team. These questions, plus their answers, make him a better leader. That strategy of asking questions has been highly effective for him personally and for those he leads. In Good Leaders Ask Great Questions, John Maxwell uses examples from his own leadership experience, sharing successes and failures to highlight the following. Why are questions so important? What questions do I ask myself as a leader? What questions do I ask my team members? Which leadership question would I like answered? Most people are willing to acknowledge the importance of questions as a way to gain information. However, John Maxwell believes questions play an even more vital role in a person's life. They can be used to connect with people, collaborate with team members, build ideas, and develop people's leadership. When embraced as a lifestyle choice, asking questions can open doors to increased personal potential. As he says in the book, Good Questions Inform, Great Questions Transform. In Good Leaders Ask Great Questions, Maxwell listed several practical ways that questions can be a benefit. Additionally, he gives great examples for when and how to ask questions to improve one's professional effectiveness, personal growth, and leadership ability. Maxwell gave 2 lists of questions that changed his life: questions others asked him, and questions he asked others. He has said that when he started his career as a leader, he thought the leader was supposed to have all the answers, and his focus was on answering questions. Today, he is focused on asking questions. Leaders are used to dealing with tough questions, but most are not used to posing tough questions to themselves. That can lead to problems. John quotes Socrates as saying, "The unexamined life is not worth leading," and then he adds, "The unexamined leader is not worth following." Why? Because they can get off track personally, abuse their leadership, and fail to reach their potential. The solution is to go through the often difficult process of asking yourself tough questions before anyone else needs to. John maintains that the people who do are able to maintain their integrity, increase their energy, and improve their leadership capacity. John reveals the leadership principles of how to see through the challenges that leaders often face. Good leaders have a bias toward action. Many leaders are also quick to talk because they want to cast vision and inspire others. While these traits are highly valuable to leaders, they also cause many of them to be poor listeners. John highlights the importance for leaders to do the following: listen, learn, and then lead. But the value you receive by listening comes only when you ask the right questions. Who is this book for? This book is for anyone who is at the beginning of their leadership journey or is near the end of their leadership and looking to leave behind an honorable legacy. Are you finding it difficult to work with a leader that has no vision? How about working with a leader that doesn't know how to motivate his/her followers? Or are you wondering how to motivate an unmotivated person? What about discovering your unique purpose as a leader? Or would knowing the most effective daily habit every leader should know and develop change the life of your leadership? This book is for anyone who can relate to those scenarios and so many more. What it will help you do? Are you seeking practical wisdom into what it means to be an effective and successful leader? This book is an aid in which to discover the successful leader within you. Discover how to become the leader that your organization can be proud of. In short, this book can make you a better leader and more influential in whatever leadership area you find yourself in. What's included? This book can also help you to become the leader that develops and mentors leaders. You see, this book is divided into 3 parts. What are the questions leaders should ask themselves? What are the questions leaders should ask their team members? Q&A of some of the most difficult leadership situations and the answers to overcome them. In the first part of this book, John expounds upon the difficult questions that every leader should ask themselves. In the second part, he dives into the hard questions that a leader should be asking their team members. However, in the final part of this book, John responds to some of the most perplexed questions of situations everyday leaders like yourself are facing, and gives answers in these difficult areas with profound wisdom and insight. The best part? To be completely honest with you, I think this is one of John's best work, and I have read several of his books. Some are better than others. As some of you may know if you follow John at all, John is near 70 years old and his leadership journey is coming to an end. Of course, we hope that he is around for several more years, but what you read in this book is a different side of John entirely. He explains in this book that in these last years he is focusing the majority of his attention on mentoring and leaving behind a legacy to be proud of. He has made it his lifelong goal and mission to add as much value to people who lives as he possibly can. Not everyone is fortunate enough to be able to sit down and talk with John face to face, or to have a personal interview with John. But by reading this book, everyone can have that opportunity. When I read this book, I felt as if I was given the once-in-a-lifetime honor of being able to interview John and the subject that he is most passionate about, leadership. What would make it even better? Usually I do not say this about a book that I buy because I can always find something that could have been added to give the book more value, but for what it is worth, I really would not add to anything that is mentioned in this book or insist that something more accompany this resource. I think John really did give the leadership world an incredible service by writing and sharing this book with us. The only thing that could make this book better is that you, the reader, actually took the time to absorb as much wisdom as you possibly can from this book when you read it. How it changed my life. This book has really changed my life in several different ways, but in short, as I stated above, I felt that I was given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually be able to interview John on the subject of leadership, and you can have that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity when you read it. My recommendation: Good Leaders Ask Great Questions is a book that was written for any leader, whether or not you are leading a large organization or a small group. John really wants to help you succeed in your leadership and by applying the ideas that he shares in this book. I believe it is his way of doing just that. I highly recommend, if you have not already done so, to get your hands on a copy of Good Leaders Ask Great Questions and let it change the life of your leadership just as it has changed mine. and I encourage you to really pay close attention to the Q&A section of the book and consider it my gift to you. Now over to you. Have you read Good Leaders Ask Great Questions? If so, share how it has changed your life in the comments below. And don't forget to share this review with your friends and everyone you think would benefit from it. Thank you so much. Make my body go, make our bodies higher and higher.